the crowd control should have been the aspect as well to help Witty on these engagements. If they had those setups, maybe Iran could be the one to deal out that damage.
Alexander, that is a good angle. I like that maybe Yehezkiel has to now suddenly play utility again, not true core.
But we've seen that happen, and for that to happen, he needs to have a hero like the Khalid so that there's some balance there. A little bit of damage, a little bit of crowd control. But
what do you guys think the
me,
bans are going to be?
Like, actually, no, remind you guys that in the draft,
I think
they
they're still
actually
gonna ban
targeted
Joy,
Yehezkiel. I mean, like after the first 3 picks,
Liquid
we
team.
knew what was going to happen. We knew that the mid
checked
lane
YouTube,
was
he's
not
left
going to
in
be
2
safe.
and
They
no
banned out the
one watched.
Novaria as well so that the CEO can gang. So I
They
see the
probably
idea
know.
here, gentlemen.
Like, there
that we're
were people
going up
there.
against King Kong.
And
Mid
then-
lane, I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
it's not safe. Even with an
They left
Aurora, even
because
with a Vexana.
he's
At
not
least
there.
that's how I see it.
Loic
I mean,
gotta
so much
be
of this
banned.
game is going to be set up by the mid laners. Witty plays such an important part for
Mm.
his team, and he's really got to perform. You know, I mean, and if the Cho is maybe the Cho is not the option. Yes, it feels good sometimes.
Maybe.
You can get those big picks, but
Yeah,
we're
I
also
think
seeing it just
Joy,
get
maybe,
melted
yeah, Loic, like you said,
down.
Loic.
His emblem build, he picks up Thrill, he gets
Fanny.
damage instead of going full tank. You know, I mean, it's maybe a little bit smarter to do
Okay.
something a little bit bulky because
so
you
they've
know
been
Kelra's going to be
Soyo
hitting
this
hard,
time.
and you know that King Kong is going to be hitting
Joy
hard.
is still
Just putting
open.
it out there. If there's no Khalid, there's also the Jawhead.
The Jawhead would have looked
A lot
nice
of
there.
damage.
I thought about it, but
Jawhead,
a lot of damage.
really?
we'll see what happens. We're
Podcasters
jumping
are
into the
saying
draft
Jawhead.
now. There goes the Cho ban. There goes the Suyo ban.
Oh no, it might actually happen. Go back to the
They
Stone
want Joy.
Age. What if this is a Joy ban?
Joy ban. It's got to be.
Do you rush Alpha?
But then
Hey, but the
FNOP
thing-
just picks Fred or something.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, like, now we have a dynamic here because we know that FNOP, they can take risks in the drafts. Like, you can pick up the Joy. Dude, King Kong has played so many
Who's
Joys,
first pick?
he probably tells
Liquid.
his team,
Liquid
this
has
is where he's
first pick.
pathing. This is where he's ganking. This is his power spike. This is how we deal with it.
this is what FNOP did so well on first pick. They didn't just ban
FNOP.
one jungler. They banned the Alpha and the Joy. They said Suyo is going to be gold this match. He's going to be the main prio. And I think this could be maybe the mess up from TLID unless they're giving Joy over and they have a lot of confidence in a Fredrin here.
Unless they go for the Joy, which I think
Wow.
Fabian did, and we come into one of your major discoveries in the
Joy.
knockouts. Fredrin.
100% win rate against Joy right now. I mean, it's just looking
Okay,
good,
Bruno
but they don't
again.
have to pick it up front. They pick up the Bruno here. They can go for the Hilo, something of that nature.
Also shadows.
The Luyi, more comfort.
We're
Yeah, gonna
both
have the
wrong.
mobility, gonna have the element of surprise to work for Fnatic Onyx. Now, yeah, with the Joy pickup, definitely gonna be a challenge. I'm right there with you, Trex. I definitely believe with that 100% win rate on the Fredrin, that is possibly the wisest decision here. But, I mean, they've got a lot working for them already, right? You have
Yeah.
this Bruno, a heavily prioed marksman, the best marksman so far, alongside the Granger as well.
I mean, here's the thing. Reminding that before this, Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they had a draft where it's 100% for that Bruno. I still remember the draft. It's Bruno, Faramis, Matilda, having the Cho in the EXP, as well as Fredrin in the jungle. They played that kind of composition before. They have an option to do that again.
Yep, that was game 1 against Falcon Esports of Myanmar. And that went all the way, but it opened with such a banger. I think they can definitely do that still with the Lu Yi. And there it is, the Fredrin, baby!
I knew it was coming. I mean, there's some coaches that maybe aren't willing to risk it. There's some coaches that maybe they don't feel comfortable with their jungler on this, but we've been saying it. King Kong will play whatever you hand him right now, and he's going to make this Fredrin look good. So what does TLID do to answer this? It's a troublesome spot. You either have full faith that you're going to be able to play around it, or
I think it's
you go
Khalid
for the
Rome, and then
Team
they're
Spirit
gonna-
swap. You
Okay.
go for the mid lane Joy maybe, and then it's a wait and bait.
That's
Is
an
Fred
interesting
back in the
idea,
meta?
but I
Wait,
want to
they banned
pull
Cho?
it back a bit. We were talking about this,
Like,
where
banned
Weezy,
Cho.
you were the one that said that you need some kind of control mage.
I
And
think
I said, if you
Fred-
want that, you need a damage
because
roamer. And now they have
Zayn
that. They
played
have the
it,
Khalid.
and
And the
I
thing
feel
is,
like
they're
that
not going up against an assassin
little
now.
bit of like a
They're going
ripple
up
effect.
against a Fredrin. So the counter here, the CC mid, as in like crowd control mid, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
everyone started
having
playing
this
Fred.
Joy is
But I
definitely
don't
gonna
know.
be a
I
threat,
think-
but with that
I think
Fredrin,
he
it's
was
a good
never
security
out of
from
the
FNOP, and
metas.
yeah, right there with you Heskill.
This
He
is
should be
true.
going for the utility realm. It looks like they were kind of onto the same sheet of music as us, right? With the crowd control
were,
from
like,
Witty is just
other
not enough of those setups. A lot of those engagements that they were
more
fighting it out on,
popular
it lost because
picks.
Brusco was
Like,
the
it's
first one to
wild,
find
like,
the major
he's
setup
still
play
good. Like,
to
Fred
win
is
over the
still
trade.
good, I think.
Yep, I'm
And then they're
100%
picking him
with you,
now
gentlemen, and I
because
hope
they
that Liquid
play
ID is, because that's what
Fred.
they need right now, a stopper in mid. Aurora still up there, Vexana, if you really want to get down to it.
Vexana.
If they put like a Farsa here, what would that feel like? Would that be enough?
did
Would that
they
be
ban?
okay?
Or FNOP or TLID?
For Liquid,
They made
For me, it's a little bit
Glue and
difficult because
Hylos.
even the Bruno with the Worldy can cause chaos there.
Blue, Hylos,
and it's not so easy for you to
Pig
spot where the
ban,
diversion's coming from.
Exactly.
We've seen, well, half a dozen diversions spotted by the random ice blast
Yep.
by an Aurora. So yeah, I agree. Let's see. Let's see if Liquid ID will go that route.
It's also tough to pick up a Farza on this first pick side because FNOP can always bring in one more counter pick if they
got
want. A lot of
He was
answers.
really good,
I'm
but
still wondering,
they-
do we think, are
but
we
then
sold
they
on the fact
nerfed
that this
tank jungles
Khalid
so Fred
is
was far
Rome
away.
right here?
Now
Or do we
M6
maybe see
and
something
Fred
else picked up for TLID?
I think
is
Rome is the
picked
right
up-
decision, but you
or picked
could
once
possibly
again.
pull out the Gatot here as well. And I mean, it'd still
Oh.
kind of be the same situation. I feel like for Fnatic, though, I feel like the same rule applies to them. They could change this up entirely. You have the lead, you have the crowd
Sniping
control.
wants to know.
You technically could go in for a Mathilda here
Yeah.
because you have Fredrin with the
I
setup, the
mean,
energy
Tank-
eruption,
okay.
and you also have a lot
Could
of
be
crowd control from the
because
Louis.
also they
One
have,
thing
like,
to note,
squishy
Matilda,
assassins.
this is what
So
MPL
tank
Indonesia
jungle
has
is
picked
not
up.
like
For
a
you to fight against
bad
Matilda, you
thing
pick
to
up
go
that
against too,
Khalid.
right?
So this Khalid is also showing to Fnatic on the Philippines that
Could be why.
we know that Matilda is in your arsenal.
Yes.
We
Are you
have
also snacking?
the deterrent for that pick.
TLID got to come up with something here. They go for the Vex, they go for the stiff arm, they go for the ability to help out in these objectives. It's something that they had trouble with last time that we saw.
Brock.
Final pick, EXP lane. What about the CC?
CC.
Against, it shreds down on this
It's
on
either
this
Khalid,
Fredrin.
XP lane.
It's good against the
Or-
Fredrin.
The only one.
Can't survive diversion ambushes.
Phobius,
Instead, they go for the
right.
favorite, the
Phobius is
Phobius.
annoying.
That's what, 1 to 3 dashes
Yeah.
so far.
And right now, Fnatic on the
Probably
Philippines,
not, it's too late.
final pick here, and they themselves pick up the CC. This is a pretty good pick, but
CC.
gentlemen, so far we've been calling the draft. We know the differences of ideas
thought
coming
about
into
making
game number
noodles.
2. TLID going up against Fnatic on the Philippines.
didn't,
Fnatic on the
'cause
Philippines,
that takes a
quite in terms of the win condition. They have Kara, they have the CC as well. But now, thank you very much, gentlemen. But we have to continue with the show. We have to give it
Loyalty
over
damage
to
for
the
each
casters
piece, so
for
it
game
was best
number
assassin,
2 of
maybe
this
we
best
had
of 7.
two assassin meta.
Thank you very much, panel, for
didn't
breaking
know that. I
down
didn't know
game
Lore
2
does
draft here once again. 14
damage
minutes on the
for
clock in
HP.
game 1. Can TLID bring the series even, 1-1 in this best of 7? Gideon, how do you feel about the lineup?
I think it's going to be a little bit hard, right? Lane-to-lane matchups obviously leaning towards gold, but hopefully they can get enough of a lead on Aaron Cheeky and hold it until about mid-game where he can pop off. Otherwise, for Nop, that is, I mean...
Yeah. The Fredrin speaks for itself. The CC2. Fredrin against Joy, CC against that Khalid and the Phobius matchup.
We'll see if it's all going to come to place once again. Team Liquid ID, a different lineup, able to fight the range that we saw earlier and maybe even contain Kelra. The gold standard on the Bruno once again as they go ahead and face off. But even with this, you know, the Fredrin has popped up a little bit more throughout now the end of the M6 tournament here. But it was a newer pick that
Can you
was
make the
picked up a
live
lot
stream a
against
little
these assassin
lower or
junglers,
make it
or,
louder?
for example, the
The
Joy
stream's
that ends up
loud.
working out really well. So King Kong going
I can make
back
the
to
stream lower.
a familiar and comfort
'Cause I'm
pick,
sitting
if you
far
will,
back,
that
too.
the
That's why the
world
mic is-
was used to. Now in the mid lane,
It's like if
still
I'm sitting like
trying to check things out
up
here. So the front's
properly,
really low.
then
I feel like the world
it's more
forgot about the
balanced.
2 years that we had to deal with Fredrin in the
Can we
jungle.
forget?
How's that?
I don't think anybody can forget that, right? But considering that Team Liquid
Perfect.
has the Khalid on their side, they can force out priority, whether through mid, through top side. It
Mic
depends
check.
on the direction that they want to
Hello.
go to. And for now, it's a help Aran
I
get
should
out of this
sit.
lane. We're just going to let Aaron Cheeky do his thing in the gold.
Yeah, I wonder what emblems he actually went for here. If Aran actually went for more agility, Roller's Blessing, perhaps just rotate around the map and help the team get neutral objectives. Or if it's more of that brawly style where he wants to go up against Kirk, he wants to win it out. Witty, though, on the other hand, this is a comfort pick for him. Witty the Wise on the Khalid. We saw this also yesterday flicker out King Kong. Wow, that's quick for a Fredrin.
Yeah, he showed up real fast. Here's the look at the emblem. So to answer that, Iran does have the Festival Blood.
13 more
Little bit of extra
seconds, y'all.
movement speed too, but it is also just Fnatic Onyx PH that likes to roam around. Couple tenacities. Again, this is a tankier Super Prince Yi that we have seen in the past, but again, now mid lane.
Oh, no quicker on Witty. Yeah, reaction coming down as well. Revival.
Welcome back.
Pops in.
Oh.
Kirk gonna be caught on the Curse Blast.
Welcome
FNOP
back from
and
the
TLID are just poking each other.
I mean, this is just the kind of predetermined, hey, I demand respect around the river. And I understand why TLID wants to fight, right? At the end of the day, they can give up these neutral objectives, but they cannot afford to take that permanent damage. Whoa! They can jump right into the fight!
Oh, in front of pursuit, first
The
blood for Aran.
Phobias.
King Kong though picks it up. That's an internal guard. Disengage
This
on
whole,
top,
like,
over two.
series,
That's
I
the
feel like the
kill
Phobias
over
is
Witty.
such-
He caught in the bad spot.
has
No
been such a
flicker
menace.
for Witty. Oh, no kill. FNOP don't want to chase. Fabian.
Oh, yeah,
steals
how
away
did
the
they not
purple
get that
buff
kill?
And gets out.
Gets out. Going to be able to take that purple buff away, but Fnatic on PH wanted to go in and fight. They will get it. I'm surprised too. Witty was still able to survive that, even without the flicker that he had to burn earlier on. But ultimately, still even. You know, nothing too crazy, but the objective did go over to Fnatic on PH.
Well, actually, I think it might not be as even as we think it is, right? Fabian's level 6 to King Kong's level 5. He had a previous 2-level lead because of the stolen buff. So I think that Iran was given the call, hey, if you can get a kill, that'd be great. And now Fabian will maintain that 2-level lead throughout this match.
Yeah, and the fact that Witty actually got out was just so valuable for them. They got purple buff down below though. Could be a gank. Aaron Shiki, good use of the Death Sonata to get the AoE down on Kelra, and it clears the wave just in time to escape. Up top, Aran's actually winning this match. Kirk brought back again in front of Pursuit. Oh, that was not
Ew.
Howard still won.
Talk about the discipline, man. I mean, he held on to the vengeance. They're going to take a trip, though. Goes to the top side.
Fabian electrifying beats, gets him out to safety. Witty rotating as well. Raging
Happy
Super Prince
birthday,
flickers out.
He forces the flicker as soon as possible. Super Friends in so much trouble, gets hit by the Eternal Guardian as well.
Aran picks up the kill, another Infernal Pursuit. Now Brusco is going to be chased down. Witty rotating again, going in, looking for some damage, but Brusco should be fine. It'll be another trade on the board, and as TLID, we're capitalizing on FNOP's
What are you eating?
attempts.
Now they pull ahead slightly
Lace.
more
Flaming hot
for
lace.
Team Liquid ID. And now Super Friends, that's twice, right? Yo, to Kirk.
Vengeance used up by Kirk. Can he get away? Witty will try to jump in. Infernal Pursuit.
Oh.
Kirk, oh! So it goes the Brave by 1v2. Kirk slain by Witty up top.
Okay, no pressure, no sweats
Do
there.
you
They
have
got
this
the dive
overseas
off, they
in
got the
Australia?
kill that they were looking for, and still we
Or is
see
this
that the
just an
advantage
American
is
thing?
held by
Because I know
TLID.
Australia.
This is like a page out of the book we saw in
I've been there.
game
Their
one
chips,
from
or
FNOP,
not chips, their
where the
food.
layering
They have
of the
like
skills
star
and the
ratings
timing
of how
from
healthy
TLID
it is.
on
So
point
I'm not
so
sure
far.
if this
Now, can they maintain that?
is
They've
even
gotten themselves a
allowed
nice, comfortable
in
gold
Australia.
lead, 2K ahead. They're building
Like
in
if
now.
it is
First
allowed,
side's
it's
all
probably
locked in,
like
but this
0
Iran
star
again.
rating for the health,
Pursuit now gonna be
right?
jumped
Is it
low.
0?
Oh,
Yeah, 0 for like the
kill.
most
Fabian
unhealthy.
jumping in the back line, electrifying beats to run away. Eternal Guard not connecting. That's a good yin-yang reaction, or actually now Kelra flicker forward. AOT.
He continues moving forward. Kelra needs to hold this position as Witty has to slow them down. They find one in
okay.
Aaron, Cheeky, and Kirk trading, and they want to go for one with the Raging Sandstorm. Wow. This fight
Nice.
between these two teams, nobody is giving up. Resources being thrown left and right.
No, I mean, it looks like you would think that there wouldn't be that moment, but then they crashed down. And again, that fight was started by Iran. He wanted it, but also now the two turtles in the hands of FNOP plus a turret. Kelra, one hit away still, might go down initially. Iran goes in.
No.
He flickers forward.
Yeah, a big flicker burnt, and Kelra is just having fun here in the bottom lane. Kelra with 2 kills is just so scary.
I mean, it's scary now, but he doesn't have the Berserker's Fury, right? He's building up to a Malefic gun, which I think he should be getting sometime soon. In the meantime, I think that Fnatic Onyx PH, despite the slight lead
Inside
over
heel.
the
I was thinking that too.
TLID, the first item power sparks are finally starting to roll in.
Yeah, they're catching
This
up
Phobius is
with those
annoying.
first items. That's a Thunderbelt now, too.
And then the
Super
Khalid
Friends
need
just
it
got the
for the
glowing
Khalid as
wand, so
well.
now working on his next. And I'm surprised, again, where's he going to go with this diversion? Brings in King Kong with him. Malefic Gun now picked up for Kelra. They're gonna get spotted out, but Fabian might be in trouble.
Okay, Fabian is able to retreat, going in. Super Prince flickering back into King Kong. Now it's a Baton over. Fabian locked down. Brusco picking
Let's
up
go.
that kill.
Aran.
Aran looking for the play. Raging Sandstorm with the flicker.
Oh, he connects, and now the revival
Okay,
is coming from
Keldra.
Live Winnie. He's going to melt it
Keldra
still.
really good
King Kong holds
positioning.
the line.
Keldra again with Dobin and Kirk with a follow-up.
Like,
Keldra
amazing
gets
positioning.
Yehezkiel down.
That's
It's a
crazy.
wipeout. What?
Just like that, 6 minutes, 36 seconds into
Doesn't
the
he
game, they achieve a
also
wipeout
deal
against
damage
Team
per HP?
Liquid ID. That's what we call a pinch.
Who?
That is
Phobius?
a pinch and more, and they're gonna get more off of it. Again, you
I
already
don't
see
think
the
so, unless
lightning
that's
come
the
out,
real
and it looks
Phob-
like they
like
want to
real-
play
the
that
new
way
Phob- the new
even in
Phob.
game 2.
Phobius.
And Team Liquid ID, after that shocking wipeout, will have to readjust the game plan moving forward.
Not for the
Last
real.
turtle
I kept on saying real.
spawning
The
up.
new
Kirk
Phobius.
just holding his own.
The old Phobius, maybe.
He knows he's a little too strong right now. I don't know how else I could say this, right? Just the war axle. Oh, where's it going?
We
To the
do
top side.
have
Doesn't
something like
spot
that,
him.
but
I'm pretty
it's
sure they saw the river
a
crab get
different
taken
name.
there.
Ah.
Send him up, Witty.
Ah,
They spots him out.
Oh.
Some away. Now it's Brusco with the taunt as well. King Kong there. Yeah, reaction.
Dang.
Oh, shot Witty gets away just barely.
Yeah, it's
as
just
he buys enough time
spicy
for
chips,
Fabian to
pretty much.
recall.
How many times has
Blaze
Witty
Flaming Hot
gotten
is
away
just
in
like
this game,
spicy
and he's going to
potato
have to
chips.
continue to do that. Even looking at the items, again, as we split down the roles, as Kelro works on the tier 1 here. Witty's only got a Thunder Belt himself. You can see Starlium Scythe now too.
This
for
man
Fabian, still
recall,
working on
yeah,
his
I
next
don't
in a
remember
run.
or
Thunder Belt
know
too.
myself,
So
so-
even the front line might be in
Yeah,
danger
I don't
because
think
of the
so.
fact that this
I don't think
power
for the
spike for
Phobius
Kelro
is-
specifically.
Look at this guy.
Look at it. That's just the preview already, and he doesn't even have the Berserker's Fury yet.
oh my goodness. I'm looking at the gold rankings on our little monitors, and he's got a 2K lead of his own, right? Oh my goodness. No, he's not going to die here, right? They just got to sacrifice the tier 2. No point to fight now.
Kelra is out poking and outranging a Granger.
Yeah, you know, at that point, and now that he gets and just
Yeah.
wants that turret down, King Kong's still looking for a fight. Witty.
Look at him
Kelra
go.
side. Brusco picks up the kill. Eros, that Sonata does
2 for
nothing.
2.
Kelra, slight tackle forward.
He's just showing off
It's
at this
2 for
point.
2.
He's just showing off. I mean, what else can you say about it, right? He's getting away with everything.
He's
I
sitting
should
there.
He's got the super fan behind him.
speak before it actually ends.
If I had the super fan behind me
But
too,
yeah,
I'd
it
probably
do-
be as
it
confident
is
as Kelra, but
looking
right
like
now they're already
2-0.
assaulting the base turret.
Aran walking up the Eternal Guard, not connecting. Brusco was able to dodge away from that one. Kelra is just munching on this turret from out of turret range.
We're not even hitting 9 minutes here as we move into that 9 minutes. 4 to 10, 7K gold lead. This is a ridiculous amount as Fnatic, Onyx, PH are putting Team Liquid in a slow chokehold, and they just can't breathe.
No, they
Oh.
can't. Yin Yang reaction. The balls from Kelra.
Oh,
Diversion
Prince.
from Prince. And the diversion is truly a diversion. The mid-wave comes in and Kelra picks it up. Raging Sandstorm Flicker.
Wow.
Holding it forward, Aran has to hold the line. He goes down. Brusco cuts
They
them
tried.
off, a double for Kelra.
Again, the
Indo tried.
diversions will work in favor. Whether they send it forward or not, they make a win. And now working on the mid turret.
They're making this look so easy right now. And this is almost impossible to come back from. Yehezkiel just doesn't have the items. And with the next wave already crashing on, let's see how Fnatic push through.
Fabian.
Joyce
back
is in the
on.
back. Oh, they see her.
Oh man, Fabian, he tried to go for the flank, but Kelra's the real assassin in game 2.
Honestly, at that point, now they can go ahead and focus on the Lord. It looks like they'll do that, but I wouldn't have expected at this point, 10 minutes in, 2 base turrets gone, non-existent for Team Liquid ID here.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Naisu. I did not expect this game to go so far to Team Liquid ID's control. I think a large part of it is because they take in these fights as if they're skirmishes, but Fnatic Onyx slowly pushes these skirmishes together into one full 5v5, and that's what Team Liquid ID is failing to see.
Let's think about it here. Team Liquid ID, how do they adjust from this? They're 8,000 gold behind.
3
There's
of
no way they
Onyx still
touch
haven't died.
any area here around this Lord, so that's more so of what's the game plan for the base
Yeah,
defense
it's gonna be rough.
on this push-in.
I feel like this is what we call
they
in the
really
business
want
a checkmate
the comeback.
angle for Fnatic Onyx PH. They're not 10K, but they've got
From
2
this
inhibitor
match,
turns, which is
it's
already
gonna be
wild.
really hard.
This, with the Lord as well, I'm gonna double check the items real quick on our monitor, and yeah, not enough of an item power spike. King Kong knows it, that they've got them in the triangle
Damn.
choke.
That's the beast. King Kong is just standing there,
Going
getting vision for
off.
the team, and now they're looking for another siege.
At this point, clearing up the waves. But again, as that Lord does make its way, they are going to work it down, but they just want this bottom turret down if they can fully expose the base. Lord making its way down the mid. And again, without those shields of being part of this defense, that's a big advantage for Fnatic on PH because they did the work earlier on. So they all just have to wait for this Lord to push in and then decide, do they end the game? Do they take a turret? How do they approach it?
Let's see. Aran getting taunted back up. Oh my, Kelra's just dealing so much damage. Side tackle. Kelra got the monster kill. Fabian getting caught in the curtain call. Witty looking for an angle. Both base turrets taken now. Witty with a quick sand guard.
Now they're going for the back line.
Yeah.
Risco's buying some time, but Karen doesn't care anymore. He's going straight for the crystal to put it
AOT
to a
recall is
2-0
worse
for
for your
Fnatic Onyx
eyes.
PH.
AOT
You
recall?
thought game
that the
one
one with the
was
wall?
fast. Well, Fnatic Onyx PH said we'll make it
I can't
faster.
remember.
11:50, and now sitting at 2-0 in
Onyx
the
swept
grand
this MC.
final, best of
You think so?
7.
You don't
What
think
is going
Indo's
on
gonna
here?
They're
at
looking
least
like
even
the more
have one
polished
game?
team right now.
Kelra has never
They
made
never lost a
it
round.
to World Championship before. And the first one he's made it to,
They
he
did,
might
no?
just get finals MVP here.
He just might. The
They
whole
lost
team
to,
completely
TK. They lost
locked in
their second
already,
game to
shown
TK.
us in game 1 and game
Like
2.
the
Panel,
3 matches.
what do you guys think? Are FNOP locked in? What's going on here?
They lost some matches, but not
What we think
rounds.
here is that in M Series history, it's either a 4-0
15 minutes?
or a 4-3. And now it's looking
Is that how
like
long
it's
we're
going
gonna
in
have
the
to wait now?
direction of a 4-0 because I gotta say the first 2 games, those were quick, but might I remind you, it happened here at Oxiata Arena. That impossible happened where we had a reverse sweep. But
You know what I
either
mean,
ways,
but I don't
this
have to say
is
it.
looking a
Brawl
little
match?
bit too much.
I'm down. Yo,
Set
yeah,
the
let's
tone.
go, bro.
Fnatic Onyx again, and this time even faster than game
need
number
clean.
1. That's a
Hold on.
hard pill to swallow for any team in this situation. And now Team Liquid ID back to the drawing board again for game number 3. What do they need to do to make the difference?
You know, there's a saying that lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place.
Yeah.
In Axiata Arena, a lightning round back-to-back just happened, son.
Lightning could strike
Oh.
twice.
What up, Robbie?
We see
Yes.
some sort of miracle happen in a
Come,
sense of
come.
reverse sweep. If we see TLID
me clean my
maybe
fingers from all
turn
my
things
chip
around
crumbs.
here, but it is looking rough. FNOP seem like they were born for this night right now, not just in the draft, man, but from gameplay to the whole package, from the coaching staff to the players. They are handling it all beautifully.
Okay.
First of all, let me just say, okay, like, I'm honestly more interested in the highlights
Oh my
because
gosh,
looking
this
at the
wire.
plays here, Fnatic on the Philippines, all 5 members, they're playing it very, very clean. However, we do have to be critical here because this is the grand finals for the World Championship, and TLID are making some mechanical mistakes, like Aran even trying to engage second skill first and then flickering forward. Weedy not hitting the skill shots. Like, TLID, they have to get in the zone because right now,
In the
it
zone.
does seem
Get in the
like
zone.
something's going
Auto
on.
zone.
Something's going on that they're missing.
If you
the
know, you
skills.
know.
I'll tell you what's going on. I can't speak for what Liquid is doing so far because these are, you know, some blunders that they've committed before. But for Fnatic Onyx Philippines, this is a lineup that they tried before against Liquid ID. It was, what, game number 2 in the upper bracket finals, wherein Fnatic Onyx played a very similar lineup. You just switch up a few pieces, but it's still King Kong on the Fredrin and Kirk on a sustainable XP laner, much like SCC. They lost that game in the hands of Liquid ID, but as you pointed out, Trex, they learned a few things. Like they switched things around so that it wouldn't repeat itself.
Yeah, they get a little bit more damage this time. They get the CC in the gold lane Damage instead this of time. They having get the a CC in the gold
Ooh.
lane instead of having
a
a
little more
Yikes.
stagnant.
Also, Kelra gets on the Bruno. You have this
Overloaded
late game
with audio.
potential, and overall, FNOP just played this game very well. Even early on, they were willing. I mean, they took a death on one of those invades, but they were consistently putting
Echo,
pressure.
yeah.
They didn't want to let Fabian scale. They didn't want to let Aaron Streaky
Okay.
scale. They closed this
Let
game
me
out in 11 minutes and
see
50
if I
seconds, and they
can-
played it exactly how they needed to play it.
Let me just say, I kind of feel like every single
Sneaky
time
player.
TLID poses some kind of problem, it looks like Onyx, they have the answer. Because I gotta say, Pavian this time, he got the joy. But the answer was there, right? We got the Fredrin. And let me tell you, 009 on King Kong's Fredrin. And we heard what Mirko said. That's a pretty fast Fredrin.
Hey, that's the
How did
piece.
I
taking
do it
care
last
of him.
time
Did we not
with
talk about this
made
pre-match?
like a little
That
screen?
compared to Fabian, as much as I love the Usurper, King Kong, as much as he is a micro-mechanically gifted player, he doesn't mind hunkering down and saying, all right, I'm going to play a role here. If you need me just counter the Joy, I will.
And this is another game for the Frederick
Oh,
to
there you
prevail
go.
over the Joy again.
100%
So
still.
100% win rate on that. And you know what? I'm starting to realize a pattern, right? It's to get the roamer uncomfortable, get Witty uncomfortable, right? And you've seen him go from a setup roamer to now a damage roamer, but
How
it's
is
still
the
the same
stream handling
recipe
it?
for the side of Fnatic on it,
Relax,
right? They
all
know if
good,
they go aggressive
okay.
super early, if Brusco can find the setup, even picking off Witty is the answer for
You're
them.
on
There was a
Team
point in the
Onyx, right?
game
Oh.
where we saw the Haas Claws into the Malefic
I
Gun.
don't really got one.
And the only defense
Robbie
on
just
the floor
watch.
was Thunderbelt from both of Iran and Witty, which is not enough. And then the Berserker's Fury even came in before they built another defensive item.
Wheezy, at this point, what? The first
Mr. X, wanna
8,
join?
9 minutes of the game, Thunderbelt isn't even a real defense item.
I agree.
You need to get the stacks on it, and if you're getting stacks against a team that is what?
What up?
5K, 6K ahead of you, under 10 minutes,
Hello.
already penetrated your
Hello,
base,
hello.
that's a losing fight.
So this is how you touch the untouchable Aaron Shiki. You make the front line crumble.
Wanna join,
Because
wanna
game
join,
number
bro?
1, game number 2,
I tried to
panelists,
convince him,
this is
but
what you
doesn't
guys have been
look like
talking
he
about.
would agree that
Weedy,
he's-
Iran, these are amazing players. They're worthy of
Yeah,
world
Robbie,
championship,
what team
but
are you on?
Fnatic on Philippines keep on countering
the
them.
team.
And now we gotta look at the MVP of the game. It's 2 times now. Twice with the Bruno, the gold standard, Telra.
They're gonna run out of angles to shoot it from the same corridor, man. He's gonna keep getting the nod here.
I mean, if he keeps getting that Bruno.
I mean, yes, the Bruno's a
Just sit
problem,
up.
and it's
I
true.
need to
At this point,
remember
you can
that
literally
I'm, like,
switch
sitting
up your
back in
draft
the
ideas and just
other
maybe
audio is
hunker down on the
outbalanced.
gold lanes. But honestly, just like King Kong, Kelwer's gonna play with straps,
Ooh.
man.
I see
He
him.
can put whatever in his hands. Plenty of teams. I mean, I get it. The Bruno's a problem. Plenty of teams that beat in
Oh, well.
the Bruno.
Okay.
So there has to be something.
I
Mr.
feel
X,
like
no?
the gold lane is solved. I feel like
Would you like
the
to
gold
join
lane,
us?
it's everything else that's impacting here. We're talking about roamers, we're talking about the junglers, but at this point, it almost does
No?
feel like the draft makes an impact. But the players
Almost
that piloted,
level-
oh my
yes.
goodness.
But that's
Frederick
nothing,
is the
though.
counter
There
to
are
the
people
Joy,
that's
but you
already,
still
like,
have to
reached
use it
the-
well. And King
the
Kong
thing.
used it well.
Yeah, he used it amazingly. There was a fight in here where Joy, we
Waiting
might
for-
see it here in a
waiting
minute.
for you.
Joy gets invaded in the orange.
Do you wanna
buff,
join us?
And Joy just can't move, man. Joy gets either hit by the duality, gets
I was just wondering.
taunted by Fredrin. Fabian is essentially useless in every fight whenever they're all grouped up. And it is just
No
tough
worries.
times for the
I'm
side
just
of
wondering if you
TLID.
wanted to join.
At this point, KLID needs to get a hero that is unstoppable, but no such hero exists.
It's going to be a
Okey-dokes.
challenge, right? I mean, I agree. I don't think it's just solely the draft in this. Even if you switch up the gold laners, even if you take out the Bruno, it's the element in the game that remains the same, right? The battle to getting the first setup, that's always winning these engagements to get your gold laner online.
I thought I heard you say my
TLID
name, but
have to
wasn't
stop
sure.
trying to brute force their way through this. They
No
need to put some
worries.
respect into Fnatic Onyx Philippines. We're
Oh
seeing
my
even in the
God,
end there,
Cracks,
that
what
last
up?
moment, Witty goes for this big play. Even if you
What up,
catch
what up,
Kel on
hello?
there,
We're
even if you
doing
land
watch
on a
party
great sense of
today
it, nobody is there
for the
with you.
championship,
You're not
but
gonna be
there's a
able to
break,
perform
so we're playing Brawl. How are you doing?
Would
you care for stargazing?
Gold, you are not going to be able to brute force win a fight against Fnatic Onyx Philippines
Go
right
get
now.
some snacks.
They need to steady it down, slow it down.
We're munching,
Respect the
munching
other
and
team
watching.
because Witty's going for some plays right now that he cannot go
like this
for
skin.
in a grand finals matchup.
And that's without even
Oh
acknowledging
my
the
God.
mid-duo of Fnatic Onyx Philippines. They play the same
What are
hero,
you playing?
Louis
Saber?
Gatot on Brusco and Super Prince. If you start attacking the other lanes, that means
You're
these
not
two are just
late.
free. They're happy with picking up.
It's funny because if Woody had more items, maybe it'd have been a little bit
You
of a
don't know my
different story. This is
username in
literally the
MLBB,
situation
right?
where it's like, hey, you're not
I don't
built
think
like
so.
this.
Something that I do have to point out, the mid duo coming in for Fnatic on the Philippines, for Brusco as well as Super Prince.
Am I getting
they're
Nutella
essentially
cookies as my
stopping
snack?
what
Yes.
the mid duo
Join
feel
me.
like
I'm
wants to do.
snacking on
You wanna
some
rotate?
Lay's chips.
Excuse me, sir, but let's
I don't
have the
got
2v2 here in lane. Like, no matter what's going on,
I don't
what
got
they
anything.
do
You don't
is
got
stopping.
anything.
That really enables
Not
King
even
Kong
milk.
to move around the
Milk.
jungle.
No.
Like, we've been watching these kind of games where King Kong looks very free.
Welcome
You have
to
remember,
Mobile Legends.
Rusko as well as Super Trades, they're allowing King Kong, number one, to do what he wants. If he wants to enter
I
the
even
opponent's
have
jungle,
you
go for
added.
it.
You
But they
do?
also
Is it from
prevent
long
if
ago? Oh my
Fabia
game
wants
is
to
like
go
5
laggy.
seconds.
Because I have two things
The
running.
battlefield.
Rusko
Smash
as
them.
well as Super
Y'all gonna
Trades
be watching
stop
some
that.
laggy
These
games.
players,
Deployed.
we'll talk about the damage, but they, in my personal opinion, is what making King Kong look absolutely amazing. Now, right now, this is a 0-0. We gotta have something.
Oh, was that a clone?
Huh? There's a nap?
We've been talking a lot.
Damn.
But now, I want the opinion
That's